What's up, guys? Welcome to another video on the channel. It's about that time I update the tier list. I haven't done it since pretty much week one of the game. It's been pretty much a month now. So now I will include some monsters that people have been using, people have been talking about, including unique monsters, because now even myself, we have unique monsters being added to the fray. And that way I can tell you guys how good some monsters are. Some monsters you should focus on more than others, and we'll just go from there. So if you like the video, make sure to subscribe to the channel, like the video, share the video as well, and let's get into the video. All right, so for starters, this is the old tier list. I'll be making the updates. I'll be changing things around. I still stand by this tier list, by the way. I do think this tier list was pretty good. I'm glad some of you guys enjoyed it. So again, I will update it with some improvements. I will be adding some unique monsters. I'll be adding the new monsters, and I'll be talking about it as well. I may add an extra tier as well for Dragon's Nest, so just so you guys can have an idea of like who to use for that dungeon as well. So let me update. All right, so this is the updated tier list of what monsters are in the game and where you should ideally have them. Basically, we have a lot of people that ask all the time, who should be in my formation, what should be in my formation, yada yada yada, etc etc etc. So for the most part, a lot of things haven't changed. Sabrina is arguably the best monster in the game for just literally everything in the game. So if you have a Sabrina, she doesn't leave. Basically, that's why they're doing the They Don't Leave tier. We have Jean, who's still there because she gives your whole team attack speed, which is very valuable. We have the Light Monkey, best defense breaker in the game. We have Cassandra, the only person that gets AoE crit buff, crit rate buff. We have Shiwa, who gives your rain monster crit damage buff. I added the I was calling Theomars. I added Tessarion here primarily because if you have a Tessarion that has a lot of star levels, then you should add him to your team. The reason why is because he does good damage and also he applies burn, which can help you in boss stages. So the Tessarion is kind of the interchangeable one because you technically don't have to have him. But if you have a good enough Tessarion, then he should pretty much be in your team just because he adds an extra debuff to the team that adds extra damage to boss stages. But for the most part, he can be here or he can be here. But I wouldn't recommend you having Tessarion in your team if he isn't, starred up. If he's less than 1 star, he can be replaced by pretty much a lot of other monsters, including 4 stars. I mean, unique monsters. I gotta say that. We have some new ones added to the list, which are Artemio. Artemio does not leave. Artemio basically is introducing just a very strong melee core now, because for people that don't know or just weren't paying attention, we have heavy ranged a ranged meta right now in Summoners War Rush, where essentially people just load up their formations with ranged monsters because of the fact that they're so good. So with Artemio coming in, the reason why he stays is literally because he does so much damage. He does insane amount of damage and he stays. He doesn't leave. Once you get him, he can immediately add an impact to your team, even at less than 1 star, literally because of the fact that he does so much damage. So if you get Artemio, add him to the team. Do not remove him. He is super duper good. Other ones that are adding are Sirius. The reason why Sirius is added to a lot of teams is primarily because there are bosses in the game that literally will one-shot your front line, and it's incredibly annoying. As we know, we have the sandworms, we have the yetis. Those monsters are doing insane amount of damage. It's mainly for the sandworms, if I'm being honest. The sandworms are just super annoying. Sirius helps you get past those sandworms. So that's the reason why people have added Sirius to their teams, primarily because of the fact that the blind. The blind really, really helps out in mitigating damage and helping you keep your team alive. So Sirius you can add to your team. The thing about Sirius is that at a what's that younger, but at a lower star level, she may not be that impactful, but I still think you should probably consider adding her to your team at a certain point if your front line is getting like literally destroyed. So I think Sirius is definitely. I think in the later stages she becomes a don't leave monster if you're more on the free to play ish end or the lower spending end, because she does help you like just sneak past some stages, no problem. Also, Alucia. I think Alucia is also a person in the They Don't Leave tier. Now I have to pretty much add like a caveat to one of these, both of these actually. These two monsters are unique monsters, so you have to consider that they are like on the lower end. So these are great options for people that aren't heavy spenders. Say hi to my cat. Say hi. No, okay, bye. They're great for people that are low spenders and they want a good star option that can help you get through stages. Alucia does really, really good damage, and Alucia deserves a spot on your team. On my team, she stays, and on I've used her for a lot of stages now because just because again we're in a range and the range buzz really help her out and she does really good damage. And on top of that, there's frostbite, and frostbite is a dot damage, just like burn, just like venom, just like bleed. So having her on your team is really, really great. You can add her in, she does really good damage. So these two are definitely monsters that are interchangeable depending on the player. So if you're like a high spender, you're probably using mainly legendary stars anyways. But if you're not like a super duper high spender and got super duper crazy stars, then these two monsters will be great for you as well. Melissa was just added into the game, and she is definitely don't she doesn't leave. The buff is crazy because of the fact that it not only helps every single monster in the team, but she also buffs Artemis crit damage. And again, like I said, he already hits hard. His multipliers are super duper high, so giving him a crit damage buff as well as giving all your monsters more pretty much extra damage is really valuable. So he definitely doesn't leave, and especially right now, currently, as I'm recording the video and I will upload it, Melissa is currently in banner. I do think people should get at least 3 stars of her because of the fact of how good she is. But getting 1 is honestly good enough. Like 1 is great because of the fact that she's pretty much there to just buff your whole team and add a little damage here and there. But she's less of a damage dealer, just more the fact that her utility is really, really good for boss staging and just doing damage overall. All right. So now we have the tower defense stage. It's pretty much the same. Delphoid, Alicia, and this is now this is now Celestia since Alicia actually has a spot in this tier list. They're just tower defense mons. They buff your team, they CC, they do damage. So if you want to use those monsters exclusively for tower defense, go ahead. But outside of tower defense, I would not use them at all. They are primarily just for that and that alone. I would not add them there. All right, and Dragon's Nest, I added a new tier for Dragon's Nest because I do think Dragon's Nest is super important in the game and something that people should really be focusing on. The Vertihill and Naomi are do they are they stay. They do not go away. The reason why is because you need bleed on the boss in order to do extra damage. So these two do bleed, then they do damage. But primarily they're there for the bleed. Without them, you can't do as much damage. So because of that, it helps you keep a consistent uptick of bleed on the boss, so that way you can continue doing damage. That's one of the things I want to say about this game. A lot of monsters are pretty much every monster has a place. There not no monster that is technically useless. Like every monster really has a place, whether it be for just arena or just boss staging or whatever. Like all the monsters have a place. You can find a place, especially if they're giving them to you. Um, Ophelia is also good. Again, she's good for Dragon's Nest because again for survivability, giving your team a defense buff, and also she can be also added to your tower to your boss staging team, primarily because of the fact that she again just helps with survivability. She just got buffed, so that can be added too. But for the most part, she is really great in Dragon's Nest and a monster you should make sure to keep in Dragon's Nest just for team survivability. Arena is the same old thing. Galleon, Fengyan, and also Tetra. Fengyan can also be added to Dragon's Nest because of the fact that the dragon does get bonus crit rate and he does offer a crit rate down. So he should be a monster you focus in on your Dragon's Nest, but he's really great in Arena because of the fact that he can essentially lower the crit rate of the opposing monsters, which allows them to not pop off their crit skills, which can blow up your whole entire team. So 1000%, these are your arena monsters. But like I said, Fengen has a little bit more of a purpose because he's really great in Dragon's Nest. So I actually probably should put him here if I'm being honest with you. So I'll probably leave him there because he's really great in Dragon's Nest. But you can also use him primarily in arena as well. Mayhow, take the same spot. I There could be an argument. Actually, to be honest with you, there could be an argument that he could be added to formations now that we have Melissa and Artemil, which buff melee monsters. But right now, I don't think I think you should go purely range for your formations and just leave him just in the side and don't you need him. Synergy monsters stay the same. Pretty much like you could add Rena up here because again, like other fact that most monsters are ranged nowadays, so you should add Rena to your team once you get her, and then primarily go to the range side. So actually, we'll keep her there. So like you have Lapis. Lapis isn't that great again when you're not in a super duper melee focused meta as far as staging goes or any type of content. So this is why these two stay here. Basically, if we ever get into the stage where melee monsters become a little bit more popular, or we start doing things where we may separate teams for one content or another content, then you can think about Vanessa and Lapis. But right now, they should pretty much stay on the sideline, just like Mayhao Wing. And then we have the really good but can be replaced. We have the Lucian. Lucian is really good, but again, he's just not one of the better ranged monsters. He can do good damage if he's one of your higher star levels, but for the most part, I do think like a Lucy or Cirrus are way more valuable to the team as far as like just helping your team survive than just having Lucian in. I do think he's very replaceable. Just soon is pretty much in the stage of just like Remy as well. Remy is the water heart, people are wondering. Where basically they're for farming, where basically you're just farming a stage and keep it there. That's why she's pretty much down here. Charlotte unfortunately has to be moved down because she's really great for lowering cooldowns, but she's just you can replace her. I hate to say it, she's so great, but she could definitely be replaced. Kali is the one where people might be like, huh, why is Kali down there? The reason why Kali is down here is because I think Kali is better on stages where you are worried about your front line getting one shot. So I use Kali a lot. Mine is level 60. You know, I invested into my Kali. The thing about Kali is that I think she is a lot better when you're on stages where, like I say, your front line may get one shot. So like let's say you're like again the sandworm, like the sandworm can like sneak in and one shot like your front line, may one shot your light monkey. Kali is your backup defense breaker. The thing about Kali that I have to keep telling people is that if you don't have your crit rate leveled up on her, she's not that reliable. Like she's great, but she's not that reliable. Like the light monkey is very reliable. If he's alive and he casts, you get a defense break. It's pretty much that's all it is. And on top of that, he can lower his cooldowns, so he can do it again pretty soon. The thing about Kali is that if she is not critting, you will not see that defense break. And if you don't have like your relic leveled up, or you don't have like her traits leveled up, then you will not see that defense break as often as you probably want to. So is she great? Yes, I do think she is a great option. I do think she's a person that you can look into if you're struggling on certain stages. But just remember that if you aren't critting, you won't see that defense break. So in the beginning of the game, Light Monkey is far better because of the fact that again, you don't need to rely on a crit to see a defense break. You just cast, you see it, boom, damage, and the boss dies. So 1000%. Kali is great, but I think Kali is a person is a monster, excuse me, where essentially you just you slot her in when you need her, and then you take her out when you don't need her. I think that you have to decide that as you're progressing through the stages. I do think she's great though. This is not me dissing her, saying she's bad. I just like Light Monkey a lot better, and I do think Light Monkey is a lot more reliable than Kali. So there you go. That's a tier list. That is updated. I do like the additions of Melissa and Artemil. These guys are crazy. These guys are crazy or cracked as hell. And yeah, overall the game state is pretty great. Can't wait for more content. I wish they had more content. And yeah, overall, let me know how you feel. Drop it in the comment section your feelings about the tier list. Let's discuss it. Do not get crazy. Do not get crazy about your feelings. It's all just opinions at the end of the day. If you don't agree with something, that's okay. We can talk about it and we can go from there. But until then, have a good one. Peace out and stay safe.